السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Welcome to our weekly, or perhaps maybe 3 times a week, dosage that we get as a spiritual uplifting of talking about the purification of the heart, of that subject. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify our heart and to give us wisdom and to give us knowledge and to give us understanding of this tradition, and that how we can make sure that we protect our hearts. We read last night in our recitation of the Quran, in our khatmah, uh, that a person will only meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's the only person who would be successful. إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ, who comes to Allah with a sound heart. And that's all that matters. There was a pious person, and he was confronted by the devil and back and forth. And one of the things that he asked the devil, the shaitan, the Satan, he asked Iblis that, how do you fight human beings, and how do you really get them? Like what is the best that you get out of us? And the Iblis, he replied, he said that when when people are in ease and comfort and they are relaxed, I'm focusing on their heart, on their heart. He's always focusing on their heart, except when they're angry. When they're angry, then I get to their head, I get to their brain, and I make them do crazy stuff, and I make them do foolish things, and I make them do things that are, the greatest wrongs, and also some of the really most foolish things. So today, inshallah, I would like to cover a little bit on the purification of the heart in terms of the anger, and how do we overcome anger, and what is anger, and what are the good and the bad anger. So this is on page 88, if anybody is using the hard copy. And it's a little lengthy, that discussion that Hamza Yusuf goes into. But before that, I wanted to just read out a little bit from the Ihya, inshallah, just a few quotes, inshallah, that we can benefit. He says in the beginning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of everything, and الغضب شعلة نار اقتبست من نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة. That the anger is one of the part of the fire of the hell that God created, and it's flaming and it's rising, and that تطلع على الأفئدة, it arises on the hearts. And then he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a few hadith, that Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrates, he said, أن رجلا قال يا رسول الله مرني بعمل, that, O Prophet of Allah, order me or give me an advice of an action, that any action, even if it's very little, even if it's something very simple, I just want you to give me something that I can practice and can benefit from. And he sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, and he just said a small sentence. He said, "La taghdab, don't get angry." And now this person was thinking that here the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he's going to give me this really good lecture. He's going to give me this good talk on, what are the good things to do and what are the bad things not to do. And he just said, "Don't get angry." And he said, "Oh, maybe you didn't hear me right." So he came back and he said, "No, I'm asking you to give me something that I can really do, like مرني مرني بعمل مرني بعمل وأقلل so give me something. So the Prophet ﷺ then said to him, don't get angry. And then he came for the third time, and he came from the right, came from the left, came from the front, and then he came from the back again to make sure that's all what I need to do. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said every time, لا تغضب, don't get angry, and that's all what you have to do. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu says, قلت لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, that I told the Prophet, peace be upon him, قل لي قولا لعلي أعقله, that give me an advice, tell me something that I would do it and I would benefit from it. And the Prophet ﷺ said, don't get angry. So then I asked him again, and he said, don't get angry. And Abdullah ibn Umar says, what will take me away from the punishment of God, from ghadab of Allah, from the anger of God, is that you do not get angry. So here the Prophet ﷺ is giving us this smaller advice, but it's very broad in its meaning, and it's very general as well. And it's very powerful, and it's one of the, one of the major problems in this world, where people are just getting angry, and it's hard for them to control the anger. And we will talk about, inshallah, what is the significance of anger, and why is it important, and what is the good and what is the bad, inshallah. But here is mostly talking about unnecessarily getting angry and unreasonably getting angry. The Prophet ﷺ said that, do you know who are the people who are brave? Who are the brave people? Who is the big muscle guy? And the Prophet ﷺ replied, he said, the person who can control himself when he's angry. When he's angry, that person who can control himself, that person is the brave person. It's not the person who can slam the guy down 10 times in the ring, or can weight. It can pick up so much weight and then show the muscles and flex the muscles. But when it comes to like a small, like a sentence, cannot keep up, with just a simple conversation with someone, except that this person gets angry. So the power of a person is that when a person is able to hold and control his anger. And that's why here, if you look at the wording, he says, yamliku nafsahu, that he can control himself when he's angry. So one is to control the anger, and one is to, when you are angry, you control yourself. Some of the interesting ahadith, one of the traditions, like from the previous traditions from the Old and the New Testament, some of the advices that we get from the previous ones as well, it talks a lot about getting angry and so on and so forth. So it is mentioned that Isa alayhi salam said to a person, don't get angry. And that person said, I cannot control myself, because I'm, after all, a human being, and I will get angry. He said, الغضب يفسد الإيمان كما يفسد الصبر العسل, that anger will destroy your faith, just like bitter sabr. It's a kind of a plant that it's in the Arabian Peninsula. You'll find a lot of that, and they're very bitter, extremely bitter. So just like that, sabr will contaminate the honey, your good character, and all the good things that you have. If you don't control your anger, it's like that sabr, it's like that bitter plant that is going to destroy all the honey that you got. You have your good character. A person was asked of that, give me some knowledge that I can increase my faith and yaqeen and reliance on Allah, or my reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, لا تغضب, don't get angry, because فإن الشيطان أقدر ما يكون على ابن آدم حين يغضب. The devil, the shaitan, Iblis, right, the biggest enemy of ours, he gets the best of us when we are angry. When we are angry, he will try to get the best of us. And that's why Aqdar, he has the most power over us at that time, because you have given to anger, and anger is going to overcome your power of understanding and making the proper decision, right? As I mentioned in the beginning, that he will get to your head. He's normally working on your heart. And he said, وَإِيَّاكَ وَالْعَجَلَةِ, and be aware of doing things very quickly. And normally when you are angry, you do things very quickly and you're not thinking. And therefore, we will talk also about some of the remedies that will help, when you're angry, what you should do. There's also a very interesting quote from Mujahid, rahimahullah. He says that Iblis Iblis says that the children of Adam have overcome me in so many places, like Ramadan and like Hajj, and like so many good deeds, and when they're doing istighfar and when they're doing tawbah, they overcome me at all these points, but I get them in 3 places, and I'm so successful in these 3 places, in these 3 occasions. إِذَا سَكَرَ أَحَدُهُمْ, when someone is intoxicated, when someone goes in drunk and becomes drunk, that person, وَعَمِلَ بِمَا يَنْدَمْ, and he does what he later on regrets. وَنُبْخِلُهُ بِمَا فِي يَدَيْهِ وَنُمْنِيهِ بِمَا لَا يَقْدِرُ عَلَيْهِ. And the second place where he gets us at the best is he makes us stingy and miser of what we have in our heart, our hands, and what we own, and he gives us great long hopes, big dreams to us. And the third is when a son of Adam, إِذَا غَضِبَ, and a person, when he gets angry, قَالَ بِمَا لَا يَعْلَمْ وَعَمِلَ بِمَا يَنْدَمْ, that he says things that he does not know, and he does things that he later on regrets. So that's the that's the some of the ahadith and the something that the prophetic tradition about anger. Now, let's see. Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah, also mentions this in his book, but Sheikh Hamza Yusuf, he mentioned this very beautifully in his book of purification, where he talks about the 4 qualities. So the 4 different qualities of human being that they have, the characteristics that human beings have. Is number was the quwwat al-ilm, the power, or it's known as rational soul, the knowledge, a person who has knowledge, and that's the first power that a person, the characteristics that a human being should have or has. And then the second power, the next one is quwwat al-ghadab, which the irascible soul, meaning that the soul, or the power of a person getting angry, is it's the capacity that relates to human emotion of anger. So whatever relates to emotion and anger, so that's called the quwwatul ghadab, the irascible soul. And the third that he mentions is the quwwatul shahwa, the soul of appetite, of just appetite and feeling to get more, that's called shahwa, quwwatul shahwa. And then the fourth is quwwatul adl, the power of justice. that harmonizes and brings all the first three together. So the quwwat al-ghadab, the quwwat al-ilm, and the quwwat al-shahwa. These three characteristics, when you bring them together, this quwwat al-adl, the power of justice, kind of just unites them and brings them to the surface. Now, when you have these four qualities in place, you get four things. And those four things, number one, if when you have your rational soul, when you have your quwwat al-ilm, your knowledge, your rational soul, in check and balance, and when it's functioning properly, you get hikmah. You get hikmah. And that's why one of the things that the Quran talks about, وَمَن يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا, that whoever is given wisdom, he is given a lot of good. And therefore, uh, Ali radiallahu anhu, he was a person who had so many qualities, but one of the distinction and one of his kind of outstanding quality was hikmah, was knowledge. And therefore the Prophet ﷺ said about Ali radiallahu anhu, أَنَا مَدِينَةُ الْعِلْمِ وَعَلِيٌّ بَابُهَا, that I am the city of knowledge and Ali is the door. Ali is the door. And Ali radiallahu anhu went to Kufa, and that's where he lived, and that's where he established, and that's where the school of Abdullah ibn Mubarak, and then later on, of course, the school of the Hanafi school, Imam Hanifa, and subsequently the other aim of the Hanafi school, the Sadat al-Ahnaf. Their main hub was Kufa. So the main knowledge that came to the Kufans and to the Hanafis is through Ali radiallahu anhu. And that's one of the fadila, because they were, of course, they were so close to that era, to the students of Ali radiallahu anhu and the other Sahaba, right? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, and so on and so forth. So that's knowledge. So when you have proper knowledge and you use it properly, then you get wisdom. People have knowledge of so many other things, and some people are just loaded with so much knowledge, but that's a lot of time it's not beneficial knowledge. So that remains as just information. And information, it could be good, it could be bad. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes knowledge as hikmah, wisdom. So when you have knowledge that is, it's checked and it's done properly and it's executed properly, you get wisdom out of it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our Justice Lahir, late Ismail Lahir. MashaAllah. Allah had given him wisdom, And subhanAllah, one of the first things that will be lifted up from this ummah is wisdom. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do not deprive this world of people of wisdom. And, people who stand in the middle of the night, and people who pray tahajjud, and people who say la ilaha illallah, that's going to be the end of the world. When this disappears, when there's not going to be a single person saying la ilaha illallah, that will be the end of the world, because the knowledge will be lifted, right? There'll be the Quran, there'll be just words, but no meaning to them, right? So hikmah. So when you have knowledge and it's checked and it's done right, you get hikmah. And when you have the quwwat al-ghadab, you become shuja'a. It's shuja'a, bravery, right? When someone has control of anger, and can make sure that he can check out properly and can control, or when a person is angry, he can control his limbs and control himself, that person is that person will be a brave person. So the outcome is shuja'a. So when a person is shuja'a, it's a person who's brave, will be able to control himself, and that also distills generosity, shuja'a. And therefore the Prophet ﷺ had all these different qualities of the most But definitely in Ramadan, he was, because he was the most brave person, shuja', he was also able to always control his anger, and then hence he was able to yield this great quality of being generous. And that's one of the things that karam, meaning being generous or being a noble person, a person who gives, it stems out of being brave. Those people who are not able to give, or they're not able to spend, they're not generous. It's normally because they're not brave. They're they feel that they're afraid of, oh, what if I gave my money, if I gave some of my portion, what if I run out of everything, right? That's what the devil always يعيدكم الفقر. الشيطان يعيدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء. He orders you to do to do bad things and things of vanity, and he always promises you that you will go bankrupt, you will lose. Keep working hard, keep everything to yourself, don't give anybody, don't share with anybody. So the person who can control his ghadab, his anger, that's it yields shuja'a, being brave. And whoever can control the shahwa, that person yields the iffa. So that's the outcome of person control his appetite, his or her appetite. It's not just letting it loose. And that's why we have marriage, and we have iffa even in our spending. We have iffa. Iffa means to do things in a modest way. So modesty, or controlling the appetite of always wanting more, and not able to just do whatever, right? Whatever, just do it. That's not an Islamic tradition. And the last one, adl, of course, when you have justice, then you yield justice. So the quwwat al-adl. And if you look at something very interesting, if you look at the Prophet ﷺ, he was complete. He was a complete insan, al-insan al-kamil. He was a person of complete in every aspect. When it came to justice, he was a complete human being that was able to do justice, a complete leader, a complete husband, a complete imam, and so on and so forth. All the leadership skills that he had, it was on the top. He was the most just person. He was the most generous person. He was a person who was able to hold on off his anger, and whenever he got angry, he knew how to control it and how to channel it. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that these qualities are natural. They are human qualities, and they are important. Anger is important. Uh, um, Cowardness, it's in itself, it has a good nature to it, but the outcome is usually not good. But these qualities are important to have them because of what they will bring out. And of course, when we have the opposites of them, then we would know who they are. As they say in Arabic, الشيء يعرف بضده. So the Prophet ﷺ was always on the highest level. So he was generous. He was able to control his anger. He was afif. He had afaf. He had, he was modest in everything, and it's in every aspect of his life. So all these qualities. But if you look at the four khulafa, they had some of each one of them, but they always stood out in one of them. So like their distinctive quality that you would say that, oh, he was very good at that quality. So if you look at Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was, if you look at from the four qualities, from shuja, from justice to anger, which yields standing up for what is right, and being generous, and all those qualities. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was the person that he was a brave person. He was yet shuja'. He was a brave person. He was always ready. He was always there. He was always willing to spend. Even when it came to spend, because of his shuja'a, right? Because of his bravery, he was able to always excel. And Umar radiallahu anhu, at one point he said, okay, maybe this time I'm going to beat him. And he said, I'm going to bring the wealth for half of the entire, or one third, perhaps one third of the, it was a lot that he brought. And Abu Bakr just brought something very little bit. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he asked him what you brought, and Umar, when he gave his percentage, Abu Bakr said, well, this is all what I had, and I brought everything. So he brought everything. Umar brought half or one third of what he had. And it said that at that point, the Prophet ﷺ told Abu Bakr that Allah is so happy that he told the angels to come and descend at that time wearing the same garment that Abu Bakr was wearing. So that bravery, so that shuja'a. Uthman is from Uthman ibn Affan, from Iffat, right? So he had that iffa, he had that modesty, that he had, that even the angels would feel shy from him, right? In al-malaika tastahi min Uthman. Ali radiallahu anhu, of course, knowledge, right? Hikmah, as I mentioned earlier, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed Ali radiallahu anhu. He was definitely brave in all those things, but knowledge was like his strongest point, where the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Ana madinatul ilmi wa aliyun babuha," that I am the city of knowledge and Ali is the door to that. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people of knowledge and people who always attain knowledge. Of course, Umar radiallahu anhu, he was a person of justice. And he used to be angry whenever it was needed. And he had that temper, no doubt. But the Sahaba say that he was a person of temper, but whenever it came to the kalamullah, or the words of God and the odor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would just calm down. If someone said to him while he was angry that this is what the Prophet ﷺ said, you should do it this way, he had control over himself, right? He was giving the khutbah, and this is not like any other Sahabi. He's the Amir al-Mu'minin at his time. He's the Khalifa, and he's giving the khutbah, and he says, if I make a mistake, make sure you are most welcome to correct me. And someone stood up and he said, if you were to make a mistake, we will not correct you with our tongues, we will use our swords. Meaning that we're going to be hard on you if you make a mistake. And Umar radiallahu anhu, instead of getting angry if it was one of us, he said, who are you to speak like to me? Why would you speak something? Why do you speak? You shouldn't speak like that to me. Instead of that, he was praising that person, and he praised Allah, and he said, I praise Allah for allowing to have for you to have people in my kingdom, in my khilafah, in my people, in amongst me, who are willing to straighten my crookedness with their sword, who's willing to correct me with his sword. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us a people of knowledge, people of these four characteristics of knowledge, a people of hikmah, people of controlling of anger, that a person becomes brave, and all these great qualities. I want to quickly finish with something that he mentions about the remedy, how to fix it. So he says the first thing that you should do is to think about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the believers. When he talks about, he praises them, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ, those who hold on to their anger and that who forgive people. Those are the people of taqwa. So he says he should think about that. And the second thing, the second remedy for anger management is that he should frighten himself. He should remind himself that how powerful Allah is, that Allah is overwatching and is looking at me. And if I do something wrong, and if I've done something wrong, and I'm definitely have done something wrong in the past, and He will punish me for that. So they think about the punishment of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. That you should frighten yourself that Allah has power. If I'm getting angry and trying to harm someone, Allah has more power over me than I have over this person. The third thing is that a person should always remind himself or herself of the shar, the negative outcome of it. Of you have to fight yourself. You have to fight that enemy. You have to fight the devil. And the fourth thing that he mentions, Imam Ghazali mentions, beautiful. He says he should, if when you're angry, it's a very psychological remedy he gives. MashaAllah, Hujjat al-Islam. He says that you should think about how you look like when you're angry. She says when you get angry, you should go and stand in front. He doesn't say that, but go and stand in front of the mirror and see how you look like. Right? And you ask someone that, how do I look like when I get angry? My kids tell me how do I look like when I get angry, especially when I get up from sleep. They know how I look like. I'm not angry sometimes, but just when you get up from sleep, that kind of look on your face that someone looks at you, they may think that you're angry. Actually, you just got up from sleep. I'm okay. Even my blood pressure is so low. But a person should think about that. How do I look like when I'm angry? I look devastating. I look terrible. So just thinking about that will help you. And he says that one of the things that he should think about, last but not least, that he should think about and try to contemplate on what are the things that makes you angry. What are the reasons that cause, or the causes that make this thing happen and make you angry, and try to avoid those causes. The things that make the other person angry, perhaps you do not be that means for that person to get angry. And if it's just about yourself, just try to avoid those things that make you angry. Being places, going to places, seeing people, or any kind of object. Sometimes a small little object can make someone so angry. Sometimes it just turns someone off just by seeing something not placed properly, a little crooked on the table. Something as simple as that. So you should, these are just, things that will help, inshallah, just means for a person to control his anger. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those people who use anger. I didn't get a chance to talk about good anger, but we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us use that anger and that power that Allah has placed in us for good things and for good reasons and for good circumstances. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to protect us from ourselves, from our lower selves overcoming us, and from the devil overcoming us. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a good ending with a nafs al-mutma'innah, and to give us qualities that we just heard about of the qualities of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, we will end over Subhanallah bihamdi, Subhanallah al-azim, Subhanakallahumma hamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Inshallah, we'll go to Surah Yasin, and then inshallah, Brother Muzaffar will conclude with some du'as. Or do we have time for du'a? We have about 15 minutes. Inshallah, I will quickly recite Surah Waqi'ah, and then inshallah, Brother Muzaffar will conclude with the du'a. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة خافضة رافعة. إذا رجت الأرض رجا وبست الجبال بسا فكانت هباء منبثا وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثة فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة وأصحاب المشأمة ما أصحاب المشأمة والسابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم ثلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين على سرر موضونة متكئين عليها متقابلين يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون وفاكهة مما يتخيرون ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إن شاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين وأصحاب الشمال ما أصحاب الشمال في سموم وحميم وظل من يحموم لا بارد ولا كريم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين وكانوا يصرون على الحنث العظيم وكانوا يقولون أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمبعوثون أو آباؤنا الأولون قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون لآكلون من شجر من زقوم فمالئون منها البطون فشاربون عليه من الحميم فشاربون شرب الهيم هذا نزلهم يوم الدين نحن خلقناكم فلولا تصدقون أفرأيتم ما تمنون أأنتم تخلقونه أم نحن الخالقون نحن قدرنا بينكم الموت وما نحن بمسبوقين على أن نبدل أمثالكم وننشئكم فيما لا تعلمون ولقد علمتم النشأة الأولى فلولا تذكرون أفرأيتم ما تحرثون أأنتم تزرعونه أم نحن الزارعون لو نشاء لجعلناه حطاما فظلتم تفكهون إنا لمغرمون بل نحن محرومون أفرأيتم الماء الذي تشربون أأنتم أنزلتموه من المزن أم نحن المنزلون لو نشاء جعلناه أجاجا فلولا تشكرون أفرأيتم النار التي تورون أأنتم أنشأتم شجرتها أم نحن المنشئون نحن جعلناها تذكرة ومتاعا للمقوين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون فلولا إذا بلغت الحلقوم وأنتم حينئذ تنظرون ونحن أقرب إليه منكم ولكن لا تبصرون فلولا إن كنتم غير مدينين ترجعونها إن كنتم صادقين فأما إن كان من المقربين فروح وريحان وجنة نعيم وأما إن كان من أصحاب اليمين فسلام لك من أصحاب اليمين وأما إن كان من المكذبين الضالين فنزل من حميم وتصلية جحيم إن هذا لهو حق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء أغننا بفضلك عمن سواك أغننا بفضلك عمن سواك اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and to accept all of our good deeds, accept our fasting, accept our ibadat, accept our supplications, our standing, our du'as, our givings, our donations, our feeding, our dua that we made for others, our good opinion about other people, and all of our good things towards other people. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our community members and accept all of our good deeds, every good deed in everyone and every single person. And Allah, do not deprive any one of us from the barakat, from the blessings and the mercy of this month and the forgiveness of this month and your generosity of this month. And oh Allah, bless all of us and give shifa to all those who are sick in our community, and bless all of our helpers and our volunteers and our board members and our well-wishers and those who support and those who come and those who come to the masjid and are not able to come anymore. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of you. And may Allah shower all of you with His blessings and His mercy and His rahmah. And oh Allah, bless us in our future generation that is yet to come, and those who are in the coming, and those who are about to come, and those who have already come in this world. And oh Allah, bless all of those children. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our homes and protect our families and put barakah in our homes and make our homes rahmah magnet, make it angels magnet, make it barakah magnet. Oh Allah, make it tranquility magnet. And oh Allah, make it a magnet of all of these great, magnificent things. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Inshallah, Brother Muzaffar will continue with some of the du'as as much as he can.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس رب أعوذ بك من همزات الشياطين وأعوذ بك رب أن يحضرون أفحسبتم أنما خلقناكم عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون فتعالى الله الملك الحق لا إله إلا هو رب العرش الكريم ومن يدعو مع الله إلها آخر لا برهان له به فإنما حسابه عند ربه إنه لا يفلح الكافرون. وقل ربي اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. فسبحان الله حين تمسون وحين تصبحون وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا وحين تظهرون. يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ويحيي الأرض بعد موتها وكذلك تخرجون. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار العزيز الجبار المتكبر. سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. سلام على نوح في العالمين إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. اللهم إني أمسيت منك في نعمة وعافية وستر فأتمم نعمتك علي وعافيتك وسترك في الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم إني أمسيت أشهدك وأشهد عملة عرشك وملائكتك وجميع خلقك أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك وأن سيدنا محمدا عبدك ورسولك. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده. آمنت بالله العظيم وكفرت بالجبت والطاغوت واستمسكت بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم نبيا ورسولا. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. 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 اللهم إني أسألك من فجاءة الخير وأعوذ بك من فجاءة الشر. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت خلقتني وأنا عبدك وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت. أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت. أبو لك بنعمتك علي وأبو بذنبي فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت عليك توكلت وأنت رب العرش العظيم. ما شاء الله كان وما لم يشأ لم يكن ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من شر نفسي ومن شر كل دابة أنت آخذ بناصيتها إن ربي على صراط مستقيم. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث ومن عذابك أستجير. أصلح لي شأني كله ولا تكلني إلى نفسي ولا ولا إلى أحد من خلقك طرفة عين. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الهم والحزن وأعوذ بك من العجز والكسل وأعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل وأعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال. اللهم إني أسألك العافية في الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم إني أسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في ديني ودنياي وأهلي ومالي. اللهم استر عوراتي وآمن روعاتي. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya alassalah. Hayya alassalah. Hayya alel felah. Hayya alel felah. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.